So we're looking at repeating a percentage change today, which is the last of our new percentage techniques. It's also called compound change or compound interest, and that's because this sort of change happens on itself over and over and over. It compounds with itself to grow or to shrink rapidly. So we've got a town with 7,000 odd people living in it. It's going to grow each year by 4%, which means people are moving in because it's a lovely place to live apparently. In 8 years' time, how big will this town be? So I'm going to do this two ways. First of all, the way that explains where it comes from, and then we're going to do it the way that's expected using a formula and a speedy way, and I'll show you where that arises from. So it's a 4% growth, so we know by now, hopefully, that this is just multiplying by 1.04. So 7350 growing by 1.04 is some number. And that's 7644. Okay, and that's 1 year's growth. So the next year, that 7644 grows again by 1.04. And that gets us 7949 and a fraction of a person now, so we're going to start doing some rounding. And that 7950 grows again the next year to be 8268, and that 8268 grows again the next year, and that gets us some other number, and I'm already getting bored of this. There must be some other way. Okay, so that's only 4 years done. We're not there yet. So this shows you, hopefully, first of all, that the answer last year, the size last year, gets multiplied again and grows again, so that it feeds into itself. That's where the compound bit comes from. Now actually, we can think about this in a different way. This number here is actually the same as, no it's not, it's the same as this, 7350 times 1.04. Okay, which means this number is that times 1.04 again, which means this number is that times by 1.04 again, and you can see that each year all we're doing is timesing by 1.04. Now because we're doing this for 8 years, I've got to write out 8 of these to do that. Now you should know some notation that gets you to multiply 8 things together that are the same or by themselves 8 times. You should recognise that's a power or an index. So in fact the quick way to do this is to raise that to the power of 8. And that will get you there in a single step. So rather than doing this 8 times, which we haven't even bothered to do because it's so long and slow, we can do the 8 times all at once by this power of 8 multiplying things together. So if we put that in the calculator instead, 7350 times 1.04 to the power of 8, out comes our number, 10,000 and something. I'm going to round that to the nearest integer, the nearest whole, because we're talking about people and it's probably not couth to start giving out fractions of people and chopping them up. So hopefully now you can do a repeated change question. The one thing I'm not going to show you, but you should be able to see for yourself when it comes up, is that this is over 1 because it's growing. It's the same thing if it's a shrinking. If something's being shrunk each year, this would be the same power 8 because it's 8 years of change, or 3 because it's 3 years of change. And I hope that makes sense to you. Enjoy.